What is up, guys? This is the Yeet Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Shandon Bradford, and your co-hosts today are Taylor Hadlock and Tyson Belknap. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about overnighters. So just overnighters in general, things you need to do to be prepared for that, things you can take, mods you can do, and just things like that.
So. Bad experiences, good experiences. So Should be a good one, guys.
Yep, it's going to be a fun time.
So let's talk about some recent trips first before we jump into overnighters. You're probably the most recent to go out and fish, so how about you start us out?
I hit Deer Creek a week ago. Caught 6 walleye, a couple bass, handful of trout. Got a 20-incher walleye, so that was pretty sweet. That's my PB. So my goal was to break a 20-inch, and I got 20 and a quarter. So got that for the quarter.
Heck yeah.
So it counts. So that was my goal, is just get something before the fall season ends. That was over 20 inches, so did that. And then hit Sand Hollow down south in St. George on Saturday. Did a quick morning trip and hadn't fished there in over 10 years. But I had a buddy that was like, hey, let's go fish it, because he was down there as well. So went and caught 4 largemouth. He caught one, his brother-in-law caught one, so it was pretty good. Hadn't caught a bass in a while, so it's kind of fun. Last one that I caught was I saw it, and it was sitting there on the top of the weeds. Now it's kind of higher up on some rocks. And so I was like, let's pitch to it. Cast it out, we'll pitch to it, try to see if he does anything. And so threw it right onto the rocks right next to the weeds. He swam over to it and just sat there. He just watched it. And so I twitched it a little bit, and then he was like, whoop, and just whacked it. And so hook set. There's this guy standing next to me, and he's like, I don't fish much. I'm just here with my brother-in-law over there, but we haven't caught anything. So he's like, that was pretty cool. And watching that. So that was pretty cool. And I was like, well, I gotta go. So I ended with that and walked off. So it's a pretty good time. So,
mic drop.
Yeah.
End it with that and just leave. That's funny.
That was a good way. So that was an hour and a half, 2 hours of fishing, and got a couple. I was throwing a swim bait, bouncing a swim bait on bottom, just dragging it, and then hook setting when you felt that little tick. So what about you guys? You guys been out fishing lately?
I've been doing a little bit. I don't know, 2 weeks ago. It was actually the day after Taylor went out for walleye. I went out on my kayak and caught some walleye as well. I caught 4, nothing too big. I think they're all under 15 inches. So kept a few for Sunday dinner. But there was that trip. And then I had a little tournament, a 4-team, 8 people in total tournament. It's all the species you could catch type of tournament. But I don't know, I got my butt kicked, so it was fun though. I got my, so I guess if whoever caught the biggest rainbow would get that point, and then the biggest walleye would get that point. The species I got points for were pike, goldfish, and a few other, I can't even remember, but.
Hey, those are pretty good though.
Yeah, it was.
Those are all weird ones.
Yeah, they were weird. I went after the weird species, but it was fun. Learned a lot. So
you got a video coming out with that, right?
Yeah, got a video coming out.
Sweet.
So by the time this drops, that video should already be out. So
sweet.
Yeah.
That was with you and a couple other YouTubers, or was that another tournament?
Yeah, it was me. It was Matt from Right Angle Fishing. Backyard Boy was that part of it. Utah Fishing Channel was a part of it, and Wild About Utah. So. Yeah, it was good. It was a fun time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
I've been slacking this year, guys. I get so frustrated going out shore fishing and being I could just walk on this in a couple months. And so that's where my dedication and love for ice fishing is I don't need a boat or a kayak to get to those places. I think I've gotten everything I need for ice fishing. That's what we always say every year. But as of right now, my next goal is to become obsessed with kayak fishing and start doing a lot of bow fishing with Shannon here in the next little bit. So that'll be the plan.
We've talked about bow fishing a lot, so fun. Love bow fishing. It's full of action, always fast action. So
you took me out probably 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
Got my first bowfish. It was a goldfish.
Yeah, goldfish.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, a little goldfish.
That was nighttime fishing too. So
yeah.
that was pretty
fun.
sweet.
it's fun because bow fishing, you're reeling in like 15, 20-pound fish over and over and over and over again. You know, especially during the spawn, you're shooting 100 fish. So you wake up the next morning feeling like an old man. You're all sore and hurting. So, you know, it's fun. Love it. My wife loves it too, just because of how fast it is. So, great sport for the family. But,
Not that expensive to get into, is it?
no, I have made a bunch of bows out of PVC. And that, like, total, you know, that ends up being like $30 with the reel and arrow and everything. So, you can do it super cheap like that, or you can go up and buy super expensive bows as well. So, I don't know, they make nice bows too for like $200-300. So, not too bad. So you can get into it pretty relatively cheap.
Nice. I definitely am looking forward to next year.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go during the spawn, and we'll have to hit it then. So.
Yeah, I mean, when we were at Deer Creek, you saw all the carp.
Oh,
just
there's
surfacing.
so many.
Oh,
Holy
I wish I had a
crap.
bow just sitting there. 'Cause
Yeah.
there was a couple that were like 2 feet from my.
Yeah.
So we might have to take them out.
Yeah, October right now, end of October, and those carp are all over the surface right now at Deer Creek. I'm
Crazy.
sure at other lakes too, but
Yeah, I wouldn't really suspect that.
yeah,
But
no.
super odd.
All right, we'll move into our main topic now, overnighters. So Tyson, if you want to get us started with that, just
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your setup and maybe some stories, what you've learned.
Yeah, so we all love the overnighters. Those definitely become pretty popular over the past 2 or 3 years. I mean, especially with COVID, that's when ice fishing really blew up, and then people found out about the overnighters, and that was kind of like the second phase of it. But it's one of those things that in order for it to be enjoyable, I feel like that's why a lot of people sell their ice fishing stuff later, is because they go out there and they're not prepared. First things first is your Mr. Buddy heater, and that's not really going to do you any good unless you have insulation around the side. Minimum at least snow on the sides there. But generally you're going to want to do something like these foam pads right here, because after being in there for a couple hours, you're going to start getting water and stuff in the bottom of the tent there. And things just aren't comfy if you're not able to lay out and put some moccasins on and hang out in the tent.
Agreed, yep.
Another thing I've upgraded to is that 650 XD that we mentioned a couple episodes ago. And that just has so much room. I was in there earlier today just kind of setting things up. I was able to fit 2 cots, 2 camping chairs, 2 tables. And compared to the 3-man I was in previously in camping,
That's a big difference.
It feels like the Taj Mahal up in there. So I'm just super excited. I feel like the space for what you need as well is important too. Like you can go out there, but if everything's so cluttered, you're spending half the time looking for your stuff and not necessarily fishing. So that comes a lot with the organization and having room to do with what you want. With the 3-man tent, I was able to do a day comfortably. But going out to the Bourbon Bash and doing 3 days, that third day was miserable. Like that. It was, okay, we're packing up and now we're cold and haven't slept well and having to drag our sled 1.5 miles that way. It's just one of those things that if you're prepared for, it's a lot more enjoyable. But you guys have any experiences or anything with kind of your overnighters, what you've learned?
Yeah, I've probably done 7 or 8. I don't know.
You've done a lot.
Yeah, I've done a handful.
You do a lot.
I try to do a couple each season. First one I ever did, we had a weekend planned. It was me and a buddy, and we were just like, you know what? It's this weekend. We're doing it. Like, whatever happens. Ended up being like the slushiest day.
That's the worst, dude.
So the spot we were planning on going was probably like a 1/4 mile away. So we're like, oh, we'll easily be able to pull our stuff out. We got there, went like 10 feet onto the ice, pure slush, and we're like, nope. Like, if we're having to haul all of this out there, like, no. So we went like 20 more feet, and we're like, this is good. So tried to find like the least slushiest spot. Luckily, we had some pads, not too many. So we like stomped it down, kind of, and then laid our cots down, and we're like, yep, that's good. Like, put the cots down, just get set up, and by that time it was like dark. And so it was like, get the tent down, get it, and then get the heaters going. Heaters would not start. Like, we probably didn't fish for like 3 hours because we couldn't get the heaters to start. And that was our first time like struggling with the heater. So
This was your first trip?
No, well, it was like the first trip that the heater didn't work.
Oh, okay.
And so we were just like, why is it not working? So we like tried a bunch of things, YouTubing and like just like what's gonna work. It's like 3 hours later, we finally got one of them to work. And we were just like, you know what? This is good. Like, we're calling it good. Like, just let it go. And it went out like half hour later. And we're just like, oh, whatever. So, like, let's fish. So we fished, like, in our sleeping bags. And it was a rough night. We caught a couple fish. Marked fish the entire night. Nothing was really biting. But we got a couple. And we're just like, let's just pack up first thing and, like, get out of here. Before, like, everything, like, got slushy again, you know. Luckily, we didn't, like, drill our tent down. It was just kind of sitting there. And so it didn't really freeze into the ice. It was just sitting on top, luckily. So, yeah, that was kind of a rough one. But I have learned a lot since then. So I've got a lot of pads now, got a lot of different gear, know on what nights to go, know how to push down slush properly so that if you are on slush, it makes it not too bad.
We got good at it at Pineview.
Yeah.
Pineview was awful.
Yeah.
Worst slush I've ever seen. And
It was, I mean, you had this much
Yeah.
slush plus a
Foot
foot of
and a half.
water under it.
Yeah,
it was
foot of water.
terrible. So, yeah, I've got some of my biggest tips with overnighters is make sure you're warm. That's number one, just because you're on the ice for so long, and once that sun goes down, it gets cold. So have floor mats. The floor mats make it so the cold air doesn't come up through the ice. Cover as much space as you possibly can. So even if it's covering a hole, cut just while you're not fishing, that helps a lot. Having a heater, and then I put a fan at the top of the tent so that it blows the cold air back down, or the hot air back down. And that just keeps circulating it, and that also just makes it so that it's fresh air, and that the carbon monoxide doesn't build up in there as easily. So I like doing that. I always take a sleeping bag, blanket, and then this last year I got like a little heating pad. So that was pretty nice, you know.
That
Just
sounds
having
pretty
that
bomb.
Yeah, just a little USB-C plug-in. So plug that into just a little adapter, and boom, warm. So that was nice. Had that for
Dang,
bourbon
bro,
bash.
that's fancy.
I might be thinking about bringing an electric blanket out with my Jackery
Oh, yeah.
box.
Totally.
Yeah, those boxes are nice.
Yeah. So once you get warm, it's like take off the boots, take off the warm clothes, like then put on your slippers and just have a good time hanging out in the tent. Treat it like a cabin, and that's what you want to do. It's like you want to make it feel as homey as possible with taking as little as possible. So those are kind of some of the things I've done. I mean, I could talk about overnighters a lot more, but Shannon, your turn now.
My first, we'll keep going with it, like our first experiences, I guess. My first experience, I had the little Quick Fish 2 uninsulated. It was not insulated at all.
That's a little guy.
It's the smallest tent
Just
on the
so
market.
change it.
That's
Yeah.
Like, it's like you have to.
Yeah, you
Leave
gotta
it in it.
hunch over, like you can't even like spread your arms out. So I couldn't fit a cot in there. So I got one of those zero gravity chairs, and if you don't know what that is, it's just like a recliner chair basically. Got one of those for, they had a sale on Cabela's for it, so because they're usually like $120, they're ridiculous. Not cheap, so I got it for like $30. So definitely look for those deals. But I got that, and then it's uninsulated, so I had to buy a bunch of that Reflectix material and like Velcro it to the top and then Velcro it to the sides. But that actually worked really good, but it was kind of a pain.
Dang, that's nice.
But yeah, it kept it
fancy.
warm, but it was just small. So, you know, you can't lay straight back. You just gotta lay on your back in the little reclining chair, and there's not much room for gear. You gotta leave some of your gear outside. But that was my first experience. And then I didn't have, so I had a buddy heater, but I just kept using those 1 pound propane tanks.
Oh, yeah.
And this is at the Burbot Bash too with you. Like
Oh,
mine and
yeah.
Taylor's first time ever fishing. I didn't. We just used 1 pound tanks, and the problem with those is that they freeze up or something happens, and the heater never starts. So we froze a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely learned to get one of those hoses and connect it to a 20-pound tank. Definitely need to do that. That's like the way to go.
Little hack is you get your little 20 pound, because I even at the Bourbon Bash had my big 5 gallon or 20 20 gallon freeze up at the Bourbon Bash. But luckily my uncle had a torch.
Oh yeah.
And so we took that
Right.
torch up to the of your propane tank and just heated that up to kind of thaw it out, and it worked like a charm. And ever since then, I've at least had a lighter, because then you can at least put it under the bottom of your little 1 pound and kind of get things heating up there, just enough to get some fluid going and get that started up. But
Smart.
so a little lighter, or at least one of those big. I know Jay and Clayton always are taking out a big torch for their overnighters there. So definitely something to keep in mind for that. But even at the Bourbon Bash, I think I had a Cabela's tent, like 4-man tent, and that bad boy was not, like, my holes were freezing at night. And I just had enough heat. If I had the heater just in front of the holes, it was close enough to keep me warm. But every morning I'd be like, oh, something bit. I don't know.
Was that tent insulated the top but not insulated on the sides?
No,
or?
so I'm a tent whore. I've been ice fishing for 4 years and probably gone through 6 tents.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that one was just a little used Cabela's, probably 5 or 6 years old, that I got off Facebook Marketplace that I took
Dirt
out
cheap.
there. Dirt cheap.
Yeah.
It was like $40-$50, yeah.
Oh my.
You could see the sun coming through because the fabric was so faded, and it was literally just a changing room because it didn't keep any heat in there.
The outhouse.
Yeah, exactly. But come a long way since then. It's all about, like you were saying, staying warm. Because you're not fishing if you're not warm inside the tent, and with how cold it gets out there, where your holes are freezing, that could be a very dangerous situation if you're not prepared.
Yeah. Definitely not fun when it's cold. Yeah, definitely get the mats. I forgot. The first time, too, I forgot my sleeping bag.
Oh.
So I didn't sleep at all. I just stood up. I mean, luckily I was at a walleye lake, so, I mean, I caught some walleye throughout the night, but, yeah, I didn't sleep at all. It was a little chilly without a sleeping bag, so.
Dang, that's cold.
Yeah, definitely make a packing list and check it before you leave, so, yeah. But now I got a bigger tent. It's a Clam Nanook XT thermal tent. So the XT is extra tall, so I can stand up in it now. It's a 2-man, but still big enough. I can actually put a cod in it now, and I can fish on the other side, and it's all insulated. I can lay mats down, have a heater. And it's great.
That's a nice setup.
You just got that this last year?
Yeah, it's got that this last year.
Made any modifications or anything to it?
Yes, actually. So 2 days ago, actually. So I put a 4-rod holder in the back of the sled, just to hold my rods while I'm not using them, so I put those in. I put some coat hangers in. That's nice because it does get toasty in these tents, with the heater cranking and everything. You hang up your coats and
nice
bibs.
Dry your stuff off too.
Dry your stuff off.
Dry your stuff off. Nice.
Yep. I put some rod holders on the side of me, so you can just put them in, walk out the tent for a second, come back in. What else? Oh, a corner console. So now I got somewhere to place my Mountain Dews and my some snacks, and some jigs and pliers and everything. So the console will come in handy.
It's all those little things that once you're out there, you're like I was saying, organization is so key out there, because you had a tackle box right there, just barely. But was it the tackle box you wanted to grab that jig from, or I had to get ones for my plastics, one for my jigs, my lures, just because the big fold-out ones, it was not working out for me. Searching through there for everything, and it doesn't work out. Spend more time looking than fishing.
Yeah,
I agree. Organization is key, girls, because it's going through the snow and everything, walking them through. You could easily lose something in the snow.
Yeah.
I bought the Eskimo Flag Runner jacket hoodie, right? We went out to Strawberry. Again, didn't check conditions. My buddy just wanted to go out really bad. Well, my jacket was wrapped around my chair, and my chair fell into the 4 feet of snow we were trying to walk through. We get back through the sled after hiking up the mountain, because I'm like, we're not making it down to the lake. Drive to the other spot, pull out my sled. I'm like, my jacket's not in here. And at that point, it's either fish or go get your stuff, and I chose to fish. But yeah, it's one of those things where if I would have just taken those 2 extra seconds to put a bungee cord on there, or be organized, or put my jacket on instead of just wrap it around this, I wouldn't have lost my jacket and would have saved myself $120.
Yeah, for real, man, that sucks.
There's a lot of gear out there too that can easily. I mean, you got the covers for the sleds.
Yep.
That way, all your
Those
stuff's
are nice.
sleeping. Especially with, like pulling on a snowmobile. There's so much snow that gets thrown in there.
That'll make your buddy heater not work.
Oh, yeah.
I've learned that one.
Yeah, those sled covers are awesome. So, even for storage, you're just keeping everything out, all the dust and the mice or whatever, just keep it all out. So,
You guys have any recommendation for sled covers? Because when I've looked, they are on the pricier side of things, which I'm thinking is just kind of how it is. But
I think Jet Sled or Eagle Claw. I can't remember exactly. I think either one of them makes the cheapest one. You just have to make sure it fits to the right size of sled. So.
Well, not only because I've done this where I've ordered it and it fits on your sled, but not with any gear in it. You can't have anything go above the ledge, so that's something you want to double check too with those, is making sure you've got enough pull for kind of holding everything in there.
Yeah. One thing I used last year was these black and yellow tubs that are from Costco. It was like that easily fit in my sled. It was just like I pack everything in there. It's all in one bucket. Pop the lid on. No snow gets in there. All organized and easily moved. Like especially on overnighters, I use that. I'd take 2 of them. Put like all my sleeping stuff, all my warm stuff in here, and then all my fishing stuff in the other. And that way it was just like, here's my fishing box, here's my sleeping box, and then.
it's nice too because you can stack those tubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go way above your sled, way above the edges of the sled. So.
Yeah. We did 2 high. We had the Jet Sled, so I think we could fit, it was like 2.5, so it was like a cooler in between. I think we might have been able to get 3, I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
But it was like if you stacked them long way or short ways, they'd easily go. So you could get 6 in it pretty easily pulling on a snowmobile. So yeah.
Great way to get out there with a lot of gear, that's for sure. What I ended up doing, speaking of the heater, is I actually got a heater cover so it has the 2 1-pound propanes on the side, and then you put your heater in there and zip it up and everything.
Is that the Big Buddy?
Mr. Buddy, I think on that one, not the Big Buddy. So, but
Just
you
the
can
regular.
get the Big Buddy on there if you want to. But that's just one of those things that I went out there and drove a snowmobile, bad conditions, and I was like, okay, need a cover because how are we gonna dry out with no heat?
I agree. What would you guys say the biggest thing is like when setting up for an overnighter? Like,
Strap your tent down.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep. Me and Tyson, the first time we went fishing, actually, we didn't anchor the tent down and it blew up on us. And we grabbed the edge of it trying to hold it, thinking that we were gonna stop it, and we both flew.
And back to the organization, I couldn't find the stakes because we were trying to stake them down. I think I had a backpack out there with all my stuff in there, and I get home and it's in like this little tiny pocket with my stakes. I'm like, hey dude, I found my stakes, but I couldn't find them because I wasn't organized.
Yeah, organization's big for real.
If you have Eskimo, the thing that sucks about Eskimo is they'll always send you like, at least for the 850 XD that I have, they sent you like 6 or like 7 stakes, and it was like enough to go around the edge, and then 1 for like the extended ones.
Oh, the rope part?
Yeah, for the rope part to like help hold it down so the sides don't pop in with the wind. So you have to then buy them separately. So just make sure you have enough stakes beforehand.
What the heck, dude? What a
So,
rip-off.
I know, it's super
I
rip-off.
have to check mine now
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah, yours is brand new, huh?
Yeah, mine's brand new, so I'll have to check and see if maybe they've changed that because that's kind of, that's a sad day.
And they only gave me like enough straps for 2 sides too. So it was like, it wasn't fully strapped. So Eskimo, you should start doing that. I don't know why you're ripping people off.
You had to go buy your own string then?
Yeah, so then you have to go and buy extra.
$800 on the tent and not gonna give me all sides strapped down.
Yeah. Oh well. So luckily we figured that out on a day trip. So.
Yeah.
Gotta keep the hub business in business somehow.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, you guys will be buying new hubs and poles if we keep blowing them in.
Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite place to do overnighters?
Jordanelle. I do like Jordanelle there. It's one of those lakes. I don't even know if you can camp there. I know in the winter camping's closed for the camp area, but I've never been talked to or.
Hey, as long as you're fishing 24/7, you're good, right?
That's right.
So-
Not camping.
Jordanelle, Edit that out if it's not legal.
It's legal. Just fish 24/7. You're good.
Okay, we always got a line in the water, so we're always fishing. Jordan
Right.
is one of those ones that not a lot of people go to, so you're not getting bugged. You're not have to worry about snowmobiles cruising around you all the time at night and all that stuff. I think we're all going to agree on this one, the gorge, just because of how it looks and kind of that atmosphere there. And you go out there and it's far enough away from everything that's literally just pitch black. You guys lit a fire out on the gorge too?
Yeah, we did last year.
It was so nice.
That's a fun time too, see? And I think it's one of those few lakes that you can actually light a fire on the lake.
It's just soothing. Oh, it's so nice.
It was nice just because it was like we were all fishing outside. And then it was just like, it was the second night we did it. We were going to do it both nights, but we just got too busy fishing the first night. So we were like, we got all this wood. We're not hauling it back. So
Burn it all.
We just lit it all at once. It's
a big fire.
Big old bonfire. It was sweet.
No, that's a good time out there. Pine View, if you can find the parking, Pine View is a fun one because you can go out
So
there, crappie, and perch. They'll be biting all night long. But yeah, those are three of my favorites there. What about you guys?
You want to go first? Me?
Lakes with crappie in it, so Pine View is awesome. I don't know why we didn't hit Deer Creek.
I know.
We should have camped on Deer Creek because you got walleye in there, you got all the trout, you got crappie, massive crappie in there, so you got a few nighttime nocturnal species in there. So we definitely should have. Hopefully it freezes up.
Missed our
good.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Last year was so good.
The ice last year was fire. So hopefully we get another chance this year. But Starvation's really good to camp on because of the walleye.
And the drive, if I'm driving that far down there.
Yeah, if you're driving that far, you kind of want to camp.
Yeah.
Same with Big Sand Wash. It has some awesome walleye in there. Good average size walleye. So the gorge, of course, the burbot, are nocturnal. So those are my favorite lakes. But yeah.
Nice.
Whenever we hit the other lakes with just trout like Schofield or Strawberry, we usually throw the green lights in. But
Have you guys done Fish Lake yet?
I have not. I haven't actually ice fished Fish Lake yet.
We'll have to plan a trip to camp up there because that one's one of those ones to drive as well. And that whole drive home, I was like, I should have just stayed the night.
what is it, like 3 hours or
Yeah,
something?
like 3 hours. And
Sheesh.
so at that point, you're driving home and you're just like, I could be fishing right now.
Yeah.
So
It's an awesome lake too. The water's crystal clear.
right around Christmas time, if you're lucky, then you can get up there and there's no snow and you can just see through everything.
Really?
It's
You can look straight down. The ice is just, you can just see like 20 feet down and you see the weeds and dude, it's awesome.
That's crazy.
dude.
The underwater camera there is gonna be fire. So
That'd be sweet.
I'm excited for it.
I really like Schofield overnighters. Like, I've hit there the last 2-3 years for overnighters, and it's like, I'll typically do it kind of more first ice. It's like once the ice has really started to be solid. And it's just like trout after trout all night. And that's when I've caught my biggest fish from there. I caught a 21-incher last year, which was pretty surprising for Schofield.
Yeah, for
So,
Schofield,
big old
it's pretty
cutthroat. It was thick, and it was a good healthy cutthroat. So that was sweet. And then you kind of wake up in the morning and it's like slowed down. So the night bite, it was like there was times it was literally drop tube down. We're 12 feet of water, so, and it was like before we'd even hit bottom, there was a trout on it. It was just like drop it down, let the line go slack, whoop, and then like
ripping
fish out.
lips.
And it was just like, let's see how many times I can drop down without catching a fish. So, and it got like 8-9 times. Like, it was fun. So Schofield's definitely a favorite. I've done Strawberry a couple times and it's fine. I feel like the night bite at Strawberry is a hit or miss. You just got to be on the right spot and hope that the fish are biting that night. So it's debatable for me. Some people I know love it and will just go and pull fish up all night, but it's just okay for me.
Yeah.
So,
Depends on the trip, I feel like, too. Because, like, some of those lakes, if you're driving out there, you don't really get to fish them a lot. And so you're like, hey, I'm going to do a lot of scouting. And sometimes that scouting to find any fish takes a lot more time than you think it does. And rather than if you're going to, like, Schofield, you're like, I could probably set up here in 20 feet and have a good time for the rest, good night for the whole time. But that also depends on who I'm with. Like, I love going to Schofield and stuff, knowing I'm catching a bunch of fish, or Pine View to go find crappie when I'm with people that don't fish a lot. But, man, you get humbled when you're out on those solo trips by yourself looking for fish. You're like, it's not like this all the time, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fun. It's overnights. They're getting really popular. YouTube also kind of blew it up a little bit. You got a lot of YouTubers doing it, and I know it's a lot of fun. I like what Taylor said. Just like you make it homey, you make it feel like a cabin. And that's really.
I mean,
The
you
art
look
of
at
it.
the people out in like Wisconsin and Canada. They can freaking drive a trailer out on the ice, and they have their
That's
own like
so sick.
motorhome. Like those are freaking ridiculous. So us out
So
here
nice.
in Utah, it's like, what can you fit in your sled that you're willing to pull out or pull with your snowmobile? So take as much as you can, but don't overpack. Like
Have you guys seen the wood burner conversion tents?
those are sweet.
My
I've
cousin-
debated.
My cousin has one.
Okay, yeah.
They're so cool.
They look pretty sweet, and that's usually gonna be your most cabin homey feeling, I bet.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. See, we might have to. Like I said, I have a lot of tents, guys. We might have to grab one and make it a wood burner.
Wait, how many tents do you have right now then?
3.
It's so sick.
Any of them on the market?
I might be willing to get rid of the Eskimo 3i, but I don't know. I think I'm happy with where I'm at. I got my poop tent, I got my personal tent, and then I've got my big party tent. So, I'm kind of in a happy spot.
That's a
there.
set, man. Yeah,
Not
you're
bad.
set
That's
up.
not bad.
Exactly. Because especially if that's the worst thing when you're going out all day. And you got to go.
Yeah, dude, it sucks, bro.
Now, I'm out there all day, get set up. Let's just pop up this other tent real quick.
Okay, I got a story about this. It was my first time out on Schofield doing an overnighter, and it was me and my buddy. We're sitting there, middle of the night. It's probably like 12:30, 1 a.m., and we're both at that point. Like, we caught enough fish. We're both tired. Like, let's go to sleep. So we're sleeping, and we just hear this like coming in the background, and we're like, there's a snowmobile coming straight at us. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, we both like look up and we're like, someone's gonna hit us. Like, this is coming for us. And so we both were just like, our hearts were pounding. We were just like getting so worried. And then we like look out the window and we're like, oh, it's the freaking train. And so there's that train across the road. And then we hear this, and we're like, yep, it's the train. But we both were just like, it's a snowmobile. So like at that point, we're like, our hearts were going, we're awake. It's like a couple minutes later, I was like, I gotta poop. And it was kind of like blizzard out. Like, it wasn't blowing too hard, but it was snowing good. And so I was like, I don't want to go out. Like, so I went on the side of the tent. I basically like, just popped down. And the side of the tent that the wind was like kind of blocked. And it was like, I was out there in like a minute and a half, like, boom, done. Got back in, and I got right back in my sleeping bag because I was butt cold. So
I bet.
that was my first time pooping on the ice. So
See, you have the luxury at night, and I like my morning coffee on my drive down to the lake. Get set up. I'm already hating myself while setting up. And then at that point, you're like, well, time to set up another tent. So it's honestly a great investment if you guys ever find a small, cheap tent. Get it. I promise you.
So what do you just squat a pot in there, or you got a bucket and
I
stuff?
got a bucket. Yep, got a bucket with the lid on there. Bourbon bash, I
Dang.
plan on bringing another Mr. Buddy heater, so like 10 minutes before I can go crank it up.
Warm it up in there.
warm it up. So
See, I'm the type of guy that I'm like, when I gotta go, I gotta go. Like, there's no warning. It's
That's
like,
how I am,
I
bro.
got 2 minutes.
There's no time to heat up the other tent.
Yeah.
well, I'm blessed, I guess.
You get some warning.
Yeah, but I guess when you're out there on the ice, the warning is just enough to get all the layers off.
Yeah, there's so many layers.
Especially when you got bibs on, like getting bibs down, like
It's the worst.
you better hurry.
The bibs are the worst because you gotta take off all your coats
Yeah.
first, and upper layers, and then the bibs. Yeah, no, awful.
That's
To
right.
go back maybe to the wood burning stove though. Yeah, my cousin has a big giant clam tent. I don't know which one, but he has a wood burning stove in there. It like packs down into a small duffel bag, so it packs down pretty small where you can just go and haul it out there easily, set it up. But so you got the wood burner, and then right above it there's like a little section where it's like an oven. And so when we went, his wife made casserole. Oh, and it was so good.
Dang.
So we just put it in the oven, warmed it up, and it was
Oh, that's
awesome. But yeah, it comes with like a little oven, and you can like grill on top of it too, I'm sure. And it's great.
That sounds awesome. I know that. So there's that. Yeah, those become really popular. Those wood burning, and then diesel heaters. I haven't done a lot of research into those really. I don't know if you guys have done a little bit, but I hear those are killer.
I want one
you
so
don't have
bad.
any heater problems. It retains the heat a lot better, and it's a dry heat rather than where propane kind of burns wet. Have you guys looked at any brands or anything that you're maybe looking at pulling the trigger?
I have
Chinese brands, bro. That's what I'm looking at.
Chinese brands, yeah.
Well, it's nice with the flip over because, you know, you have the sled and your tent's connected to the sled. So you just like install the heater in your sled.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Or you just like, you know, a lot of people put them in coolers and you just drop your cooler into the sled and you're done. And, you know, with the flip over, it looks like it's the deal. You know, it's what you really need to do. But I don't know. Yeah, it's nice because it's dry heat. You don't have to worry about carbon monoxide or nothing killing you overnight. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe next year.
I hear a lot of people. There's a Facebook page that I'm on that a lot of people talk about. Like it's, I can't remember exactly. We'll attach it in the YouTube video, the Facebook page. But it's a lot of people. It's like trick your sled or something.
Trick or trap.
Trick your trap. That's it. Yeah. And there's a lot of sweet stuff. But I've seen a lot of things recently of people talking about diesel heaters.
Hub hacks.
Hub hacks.
Hub hacks as well.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. So a lot of good Facebook pages. These are people just all over the country, probably even Canada and stuff, that are just showing how they trick their hubs, how they trick their tents for overnighters and everything. And some people they get into it. Like it's dope. I've seen a lot of people create like wood bottoms for their tents.
Yeah, those
so it's like you just pop that on, pop your tent on it, and that way you're off the ice, you're dry, and it's pretty sweet.
Saw this one guy hook his lights up to his fish finder, so when his fish finder beeped that he had a fish, his lights would blink and change colors. And I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Wake him
it
up
turns
at
into
night.
a party. Like,
Dude, that's sick.
That's fish, like fish mania. Boop, boop,
yeah,
boop.
fish rave when you're catching a fish.
Fish rave. That's great.
That'd be dope.
But yeah, they
That'd be
do
fun.
stuff like that advanced on there, so it's pretty cool just seeing all the different options and how to have more fun than just ice fishing. Like, there's ways to customize your home while you're out there. So, pretty sweet stuff.
That's actually where I learned to put those D-rings on the back of my sled for the flip over to anchor down my tent is on Trick or Trap. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So what's your guys' one secret then for overnighters? If you had one thing that you would suggest, or is it your secret of doing an overnighter?
Have a poop tent.
Poop tent.
Your life is so much easier with a poop tent. You guys will love my poop tent.
You're like our friend Jay.
Yeah.
Jay's like that too. He wants a poop tent.
He's
He
a
wants his
little
own
wimp.
bucket with the seat and all, and like everything.
I know what I'm getting you guys for Christmas. I'm gonna get you a nice embroidered bucket cover that has your guys' initial on there, and then that way you guys can have your buckets and
On
cycle.
separate
I'd like a
bucket.
warm seat too, like a little knitted seat to go over.
Knitted, hand knitted. I want mine electric. Like it warms
Yeah.
my booty.
That'd be sweet. Debate, the bay.
Yeah, the bay.
Have
Yeah.
one of those connected to it too. Shoots out ice.
Hey.
That'll wake you up.
This is my tip here. Hold that real quick. This is for the video. This is my cot chair. So
Yeah, this thing I've
Just
been jealous
folds out.
of.
and it's just a little chair that it's got this little loop. Just slides right into your cot, so and that way you're not having to lean forward and all that.
Buying one of those when I get home tonight.
Yep, Costco. Cabela's, not Costco. Costco's a great place.
When I
to get
first
stuff.
saw that thing, dude, I was like, "That's smart."
Do you know how much space that saves with your tent, your cot, and your chair?
So nice.
Like, yeah.
My one tip with it is make sure you got like a blanket or like a foam mat that kind of goes under the backside of it. It's because when you're sitting on a cot, you kind of like sit back. And so it's nice to just have that little bit of lift so it kind of sits you forward. So that way you're in a little bit better spot so you can fish. So, but that's way it saves space from like having a chair. You do have to have it on the bar cot. Doesn't work on the fold up ones.
Okay.
So just know the ones that are super bar, it's got the 3 prongs or whatever. It works with those. So yeah, that's my tip.
Great tip. I've always been jealous of it. So
It's a great chair. I love it. I think
It's
it was
a
only
great
like
chair.
$25, $35. It really wasn't
steal.
that bad. So saved a lot of space.
you want to
Your
go
tip.
first?
I did my tip, the poop tent.
Oh,
Poop
yeah.
tent. Oh,
Yep.
shoot,
Just
man.
Gotta have a nice place to have some privacy and not have to worry about riding to the bathroom,
however far that may be, because sometimes it's pretty far
Yeah.
to the nearest bathroom. So, good tip.
I don't really have a tip. I feel like you two are so far advanced, so far ahead of me.
What about lighting?
Yeah, I was gonna say you got good lighting.
Lighting,
Yeah.
lighting is important. Yeah, that's true. I want some more lighting though. I want to put some lighting in my sled itself.
Oh,
That way I can just lights up the whole back of the sled. But yeah, right now the whole front and the whole, the lights from up top coming down are really bright. So some lights in the sled itself would be awesome. So.
nice. I got pretty good lighting. I got some Lion Energy out of here, Utah. I got just one of their 500 amp hour rechargeable battery things, and I just plug in. It came with like 3 little lights. They're supposed to be like outdoor lights that you hang like underneath your patio or whatever, but I just hang
Works great
one
for a
in each,
tent,
and
yeah.
it lights it up real good. And I'll even just turn one on, and it'll be enough. So they work great.
I need to upgrade. Mine work for the first little bit, but I get like the button lights from Home Depot and some
okay.
batteries in there. But you have a hard time sticking them up there, especially when you get some condensation and stuff up top.
Yeah.
But maybe if I got one of those nets, I could kind of fix it. Just stick some of those up there. I just need to get committed and run the string lights up there. And
Yeah, Clem has those new like halo lights that go
Yeah.
around the whole hub of your tent.
Dang.
So
I need to commit to those.
Yeah.
It makes things a lot easier being able to see and not having to just
yeah,
turn
the,
your head every
the
time.
headlamp gets a little old.
Especially the shadows that it does in the tent.
The shadows are
Terrible.
annoying.
It's just- you look everywhere and you're like, you have to like cover it a little.
Throw
It's,
your vision off.
Yeah.
And then you catch yourself like, oh wait, I can just
Yeah.
Adjust the lamp on your head.
Yeah.
yeah.
Lighting's a big one with overnighters. Make sure you have good lighting because it sucks not having good lighting. It's just either you're in the dark or it's just awkward. So.
And don't set the fire in your tent for the lighting.
Yeah. Very true. You must be drunk if you're doing that.
Oh, another thing you have to have is like a little grate to go over your heater. Just cook some food. It's nice at night. You just make some hot pockets or some leftovers.
I'm one of those. I did get a Blackstone for Christmas last year for my parents.
Ooh.
And so, fellas, we will be eating nice. We will.
You better be.
Call me the chef tent up in there. I get hibachi, I do chow mein, breakfast burritos. So, yeah.
Is it one of those portable Blackstones?
It's like 3 by
heck
2.
yeah.
So, it's, set it on the table
good
in there.
size,
Yeah.
Nice.
Been able to make food for 5 or 6 people. I still have leftovers. So, it's great. I'm stoked to be using that there. And
Nice.
cooking some nice meals on that. But
What's the guy? There's a guy locally that makes those little.
Yeah, what
I
are they
can't
called?
remember his name.
Things.
the
I see him on
something
Facebook.
great.
Yeah.
Um,
I just buy a paint grate and
Yeah, I've
just bend
seen-
it and it fits. The one thing I've heard about that is that it supposedly burns off like bad bacteria or
yeah, I
something.
was looking at
Chemicals.
the
yeah.
chemicals in the metal. I was a little worried about that, but it does work.
I've never had a problem. I mean, I'm still pretty normal today.
Well, and if you're cooking on a pot on top of the paint grate, that's fine. But if you're putting your hot dogs right on the paint grate, don't do that.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing too. I throw my hot pockets right on top, man.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are brave. I've probably done a lot worse things in my body though, so I can't judge.
Yeah.
you.
All last year, I would just put my can. I just put the can on top
Oh, yeah.
and then eat it out of the can. But I guess that's terrible too for chemicals.
I guess that's
Yeah.
another thing though, is what are you guys taking out there to eat? That's one of those things that's kind of
Chili.
important to
Yeah.
kind of go over.
One thing I bought this year was one of those jet boils where it boils water in like 60 seconds to 2 minutes. And it boils water and then you put it in those, what is it called? Those freeze dried.
The Mountain Man meals.
Yeah, Mountain Man meals. There's not Mountain Alps. Can't remember. But
Dehydrated
Mountain Man?
backpacking.
I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
Freeze dried meals, right?
Freeze dried meals,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a couple brands out there that make good ones, but it's just like you got your lasagna in a bag, you got your stroganoff, you got all these different things. So you just pour your water in, let it zip it closed, and for like 3-5 minutes, it just kind of cooks it. And
Yeah, desserts too. and
Yeah.
everything.
I got some stuff for you to try. So my mom got a freeze dryer 2 years
Oh,
ago.
really?
Mhm.
That's so nice.
So let me know. Like I already warned her for camping trips and stuff. If we need to freeze dry meals for the bourbon bash, let me know, guys. I'll take them over and we're gonna freeze dry. But yeah, those freeze dryers are awesome. If you can't get freeze dried meals because they are expensive, and that's kind of why I'm stoked about that option, is because we'll be able to save so much money with that.
Oh, totally.
But the Mr. Ben's rice, like those little they're cooked pre-rices, and you just literally put them in your little pot. Those are great with some pre-cooked chicken or something.
Nice.
Another one I like to do is pre-make your breakfast burritos, and then you can actually pop your Mr. Heater Buddy grate up and put them on there. Doesn't cook, but it definitely warms them up, so you can heat your breakfast burritos up there. So that's kind of my quick, easy meals. That's what I like doing.
Nice. I like that. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I do a lot of chili, Hot Pockets. I did a little bit of the freeze-dried meal stuff. But yeah, it does get pricey.
Yeah.
Chili's a lot cheaper. You know, grab a can of chili for $1.
Yeah.
I just need to stop eating it out of the can. I need to, take a little bowl or something so I'm not dying of chemicals.
Yeah.
But
my go-to treat, I always get those little Debbie donuts. I take those
every trip, bro.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, you want some donuts? Every trip.
The strawberry shortcake flavor too. They're bomb. So I always have those every trip. So just you wait.
I'm excited.
Those are my go-to.
Go-to depends where I'm going, but that gas station in Heber, you get their sausage breakfast burritos.
Oh heck yeah,
dude! Their green sauce, their green chili sauce.
Yeah,
that's the best sauce.
They have the best breakfast burritos, and I've been to a lot of different breakfast burrito places. That's a little gem right there.
That's the Mountain Land one stop, right?
Yeah, one stop in Heber. Yeah.
Great breakfast burritos. I haven't even tried anything else because that green sauce is like crack.
Dude, that green sauce is fire. Best green sauce I've ever had.
They charge you extra for it. It's that good.
So good.
It's delicious. What's your guys' favorite food? Comment down below. What do you like to pack? What do you like to take?
We need some ideas,
Yeah, we're just cheap here, which isn't bad. I mean, we spend our money on all the fishing gear for these overnighters.
Priorities.
We need help eating food because we just fish and then we're like, oh yeah, we should probably eat.
Ramen, that's a big one. I don't know how many times I've had ramen for breakfast out there.
Breakfast, wow.
Yeah, sometimes
I couldn't do it for breakfast.
9 or 10, dude, and I didn't bring any food. Drove through my bag and I had a water bottle and a bag of ramen.
It is very minimal. That's the good part about it.
I was like, cool, I can eat.
It's easy. You just throw it in a bag. You're done with it.
Yep, exactly.
Easy trash, pick up, clean up. So
it's good stuff.
Well, do we have anything else we want to talk about for overnighters?
No, I think that's it. I mean, the biggest thing is just be prepared. Oh, actually, yes. I would say one thing. The most important thing you should take, I don't know if this would necessarily save your life. You might be knocked out by then, but it's take a CO2 detector.
No, carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
CO detector.
Yeah, CO.
Carbon monoxide detector.
You want to detect that air.
Yeah, detect that air, that's right.
Yes, a carbon monoxide detector. I typically take 2 because I got the big 850 XD. I'll set 1 on each side of the tent and then set it at head level. Because you do not want to set it up high because at that point, it doesn't see carbon monoxide drops.
It kind of drops.
Yeah, so you want to put it low so that way you can connect it. But by the time that it is technically going off, you might already be knocked out. But so hopefully it doesn't.
Well, the Mr. Buddy heater, depending on the heater, the Mr. Buddy heater has a safe kickoff on there, but that's not 100% reliable. You want to have backups on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things.
If you want to geek out a little bit, just how it works. So when you burn propane, it turns into carbon dioxide, water, and heat are the 3 products. When you get low on oxygen in your tent, the Buddy heater, and there's other brands that turn off, but the Buddy heater senses that there's low oxygen and it turns off. Because once you get low oxygen, that carbon dioxide turns into carbon monoxide, heat, and water. So, yeah, you run low on oxygen, which is bad. The Buddy heater is supposed to kick off. If it doesn't, then you have those carbon monoxide detectors that are hopefully going to save your life. But if you don't have a heater that doesn't turn off, then you should really
like the sunflower ones.
Yeah, those sunflower ones.
No. No bueno.
Those are outside of 10 only one, I would say.
Yeah.
Clayton Schick does a really good video.
An awesome video.
Two tents are side by side, one of the buddies, and then an off-brand that didn't have the shut off, and he ran them for however many hours, and just showing of where they started shutting off, when the detectors would start beeping and things like that. So go watch that. Super good video.
Great video.
Very helpful and just keeping your life safe. So yeah, that's the last thing I would have to say about this.
Yeah. I think we covered a lot of bases. Let's pray for cold. It's almost there. Almost there, guys.
Almost there.
We are close. Just weeks away. Days away, I'd say.
Yeah, we're getting close, but... Alright guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Definitely follow us along for our future episodes, and we'll see you next time.
Yeet fishing out!